Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live stream here at the WKU Alumni Association. I am going to turn it over to our hosts, Carla and Tiffany, to kick us off. And thanks, everybody, for attending.
Thanks, Laura. Well, I'm Tiffany Wade, and everybody, welcome to the Decades Roundup of the 2,000 plus grads of Western Kentucky University. We are joining an awesome crew of panelists today. My co-host is Carla Criswell, and we're just going to hear some stories that everybody thought was important to them about their experience on the Hill. I'm going to introduce our panelists first. Let's see, we've got Nathan Gardner, Amira Palacios, Maddie McClure, and Drew Hawkins. And then we're going to all talk a little bit about ourselves and then start the show. So I am an 05 grad of the Healthcare Administration program, and then I decided to go back to school, as many do, and I did the nursing program. So I graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2009 from our nursing program, which is amazing, and it has led to many wonderful opportunities. Carla?
Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm Carla E. Criswell from Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm a 2004 graduate of Western Kentucky University, majoring in middle grades education. I'm currently a middle school teacher here in Hopkinsville, Kentucky at the Bluegrass Learning Academy, and I'm also a self-published author. Nathan?
Nathan Gardner out in Littleton, Colorado, 2009 graduate of the Business School in Corporate Finance. Fun fact about me is started our Denver group out here and looking to grow that. So if anybody on Denver, come join us.
Okay, Amira?
Hi, I'm Amira Palacios. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I was a mass communication and double minor in Asian studies and broadcasting. I graduated in 2005. I went on to get my master's in business administration in the Northeast. And I currently work as a regional communications executive for a global architecture and engineering firm. And when I was on the Hill, being an honors student really was the pinnacle of my experience. And I was one of the first students that started going abroad for their studies. I actually did a study abroad in Japan, England, during my time at Western.
Wow. Okay. Maddie?
I am Maddie McClure. I graduated in May 2020. I was a public relations major with a double minor in agriculture and event planning. And I currently am in Bowling Green. I'm the assistant marketing director at SkyPack, the Performing Arts Center here in town, just doing all the shows and marketing, but still going back to the Hill a lot as a young alumni council member.
All right. And Drew?
Yeah, Drew Hawkins, 2009 graduate of Western Kentucky, ran cross country and track while I was here, and grew up in Owensboro, but now living in Atlanta, working, helping run digital marketing for a transatlantic law firm.
All right. Well, thank you, panelists, for joining us tonight and introducing yourselves. I know everyone that's watching tonight is really here to see and also hear about our experience as Hilltoppers. So I want you to take a few minutes and think about, your experience here at WKU. So as a freshman, what was your most memorable experience as a freshman at WKU? So we'll start with Maddie.
I think my most memorable experience my freshman year, I believe this was my freshman year, was that the football team won the Conference USA championship game at WKU, and we all rushed the field when we weren't supposed to. It had everybody at us, and there was a giant stage, and it was probably one of the coolest things getting to experience that as a student. Growing up in Bowling Green, you always see sports on Western's Hill, but actually being a student and getting to experience that big win was one of the coolest things. And then going to whatever, I can't remember exactly what bowl game we went to in 2016 after winning that, but actually getting to go wherever we went with the team and traveling to be a fan over there to wherever the bowl game was, probably the best experience. I don't think there's a cooler way to have a fall semester your freshman year than winning a bowl game at Western.
Absolutely. That was a great experience. What about you, Nathan?
I'll have to say pledging Sigma Chi, meeting a lot of new people, lifelong friendships now, and just even outside of that, meeting people in other fraternities and sororities. It's just a great experience to get involved in the community. A lot of people do go back on the weekends, but joining a fraternity kept me in Western and had great experience through and through. So,
Amira?
Like many freshmen, I participated in Master Plan prior to classes starting, and I just love Master Plan from beginning to end. Didn't want it to end, and just made a lot of friends very early on. And I just liked getting to the Hill early, moving into the Rhodes Harlan Honors Dorm at that point in time. That's what it was, and just having a sense that I had made the right decision, fairly early on.
What about you, Drew? How would you what's your most memorable experience as a freshman at WKU?
My freshman year is pretty slow, honestly, but it's a toss-up between, I don't know why this jumped out in my head. I met Tony the Tiger, I think my first week there. That was pretty cool. And then one of the most memorable times I had wasn't actually on campus, but it was with friends I'd made at Western. One of them, their family owned a summer camp out in Alabama. And so we went out for a weekend to their family summer camp when there was nobody there and just went nuts with bonfires, creating flaming bows and arrows and all sorts of stuff I would never want to do now. But it was a lot of fun then. And it was it was all friends from Western. So while it wasn't on campus, it was Western tangential a little bit.
Awesome. Tiffany, what's your favorite or most memorable freshman experience or memory?
Well, I'm cracking up because I don't know if they know that the comments that people are sending in, we can see. And if it's something that we find, interesting, we're going to talk about it. So you all feel free to share your stories. Some of them say, who remembers their freshman year? There's a reason why we called on Maddie first, because she's the most recent graduate. So it was not my freshman year of college, but that's my 2-year-old. It was my freshman year at, first year at Western. And it was when 9/11 happened. And so I remember being, on campus and in classes, and just what a weird feeling that was of not knowing, what was going on. And everybody really just having this closeness, I think, even if you didn't know them, because you now all share this experience together. And, we all have our own little, 9/11 stories, and we just, celebrated the 20th anniversary of that. So I can still remember where I was that day, and then how the rest of that day felt for me. I don't really remember.
Tiffany, I remember that day for me. I think I was walking up the hill and I ran into like a fellow journalism student, and he just had this look of just like confusion and kind of awe on his face. And I was headed to class, but the moment I got back to my dorm, I think we just kind of sat there and watched CNN for hours on end, just wondering what this would mean, for us at the time. And
sure,
that was a defining moment, I think, for those of us who were in our freshman year at the time, for sure.
That's right.
Absolutely. I remember I was living in Poland Hall. That would be my second year at Western. And I remember my roommate, best friend, called, and she's screaming and yelling like, are you watching the TV, watching the news, that the world's coming to the end? And she was frantic. It was like, what was going on? And then turn on the TV and seeing the first tower was like, oh my goodness. And people on campus were just like running up and down campus. You can see people trying to get their cell phones. And I was actually about to go to educational psych at Tay Page Hall, which is no longer standing. The professor at the time was like, you know, this is what we're doing today. We're watching this. So you're more than welcome to stay for class and watch with me, or you're more than welcome to leave. And a lot of us actually stayed and just watched the news. I think we felt like we needed to be in that moment, was watching history. And it's kind of like our parents, you know, and grandparents, they know exactly where they were when President Kennedy was assassinated. They know exactly where they were when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. And 9/11 is that moment for us. Like, we know exactly where we were, what we were doing. And I think it changed, you know, it became something that changed our lives, you know. And for students, the unknown, you know, getting ready for travel, like how we're going to travel now to go home, you know. And our students that were from the Middle East, you know, they fear and anxiety of people looking at them and treating them differently. So that was definitely a moment that WKU as a campus, we all came together and bonded and took care of each other and our own that was on campus. So definitely a moment for us as college students. So with that in mind, think about, how would you frame your time at Western, your decade, in one word? Like, what's one word you would give your time at Western? How would you describe it?
Very random. Very random. I had friends that, you know, they would get a harebrained idea and we would just go for it, and there was very little planning involved. I don't think I took anything seriously until like the last semester. I was at Western and then figured out, oh, I'm got to graduate and do something now. But you know, a lot of very random experiences.
For me, I would say transformative. You know, I got to the Hill in August of 2000. And so we're now transitioning to that time of digital education, and we're starting to have more access to things out there on the web. And so, you know, going from high school to college, I'm from Bowling Green, so Western has always been in my backyard, literally. I lived on Center Street, down the street. So, but I wanted to make sure that I gained the college experience, so I stayed on campus. And so I was able to get that away feel, even though I was from Bowling Green, by staying on campus and transitioning as a young woman, things that were happening in education, like I said, with technology, the experience that I had at Master Plan. I also went to Master Plan, and that was a great experience to help me kind of transition and meet some faces. And so that way, when we first started classes, I knew a couple people on campus. So I would definitely say transformative, especially on campus. Things started to get rebuilt and renovated, excuse me, with the dorms and things like that, because I stayed at East Hall when I first got to campus. And then my junior year, I was able to move into the brand new co-ed dorm, Southwest, Northeast, when they combined it and had my own bathroom. So that was a very good experience for me. So definitely transformative would be the word for me.
I think my word would be global. I mean, this was the generation that saw Facebook really come into play. And I remember when Facebook was just limited to college students, and look what it is now. So we were the kind of the Facebook generation. We started connecting and using technology in new ways. And it was definitely a vibe.
I'd say memorable. I mean, it was a great experience. Go back in a heartbeat. Enjoyed all the time I had there, meeting people. Although the football team was not good when I first came, we went 0-26 when we went to FBB, just I guess the regular football we're in now division. So that was pretty entertaining to see. Tell one story. They decided to do a blackout game when we had a not so good team. So we took that as more of a party theme for the tailgate against USF, maybe in 2008 or 2007. So memorable again, meeting everybody. And then just getting away from Louisville, where I'm from, to go down to Bowling Green. It was just great experience to get out of the house. A lot of people stay in Louisville or go to the other school in that other L town. So just not doing what everybody else does and making memories with people and the times we had. So
I agree with you, Nathan. I mean, being from Louisville, I mean, a lot of people go to University of Louisville, but there's just something really special about WKU and for Bowling Green, and it became like my second home.
agreed.
And I think for me, it was also like, I think energizing was the word, because I always got energy when I was on campus, no matter what form that was, whether it was while I was in class, like learning about things, while I was with people, probably doing things I wasn't supposed to. Or for me, the biggest thing was Western's volleyball program. I didn't play, but my mom played for Western's volleyball program. And so Western volleyball has always been a huge part. And to host the NCAA tournament the fall semester of my senior year against that L word that we don't like, and that second round game at Dill Arena, and just seeing it so energized for Western volleyball and just everything else from tailgates and everything. I think energizing is my word, because I got my energy and my passion and my drive whenever I was on campus for me.
Well, I guess that's me. So for me, I think instrumental, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't be where I am today without, the experiences that I had at Western with the people that I met, and just overall the friendships, relationships. I mean, that is what it's about. And, it was just, I think, a great experience. I didn't live on campus. I'm from Smiths Grove, Bowling Green area. But I was a commuter student, and at one point I had 3 jobs when I was in nursing school, and I would go back and forth, between class and work and class and work and whatever I had to do. But, I think it paid off, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Well, that's great. Thank you guys for sharing that information and your experience and your word. I think we all can identify with all those words. They probably can describe a lot of our experiences while on the Hill. So let's talk about some things that you did away from campus, some local hangout spots. You guys have a place that you ventured to, that you loved around in Bowling Green as it became your second home.
I liked Shake Rag Reed's, like, soul food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I really just love the cuisine. The owner is just a, sweet old man. And just, I learned so much about Bowling Green culturally, just eating there.
Go ahead.
All right. Ours was actually a cave. There was a little cave out behind some apartments over where, kind of close to where the intramural fields are. And so we would like crawl down in there and kind of shimmy down, and there's a river in there. And that's kind of what we did on our off weekends when we weren't having to travel for a race or anything like that. We'd go down caving and go tell, like, we would call one friend and said, hey, we're going to this cave. We're going in. If you don't hear from us by X time, send a search party or something like that. Something happened. But that was a lot of fun. You came out soaked and muddy and just gross and everything, but it was a lot of fun. It was just kind of one of those like off the beaten path things that I know other people knew about and did probably, but it just felt like it was unique to our group.
I heard about people exploring caves, but I didn't really know of anyone doing it. So I appreciate you sharing that, Drew.
Yeah. I've been down to
Bowling Green past time.
One of my wife and I's first dates, we met at Western. I took her caving with my buddies. She lost a shoe in the mud. Like it had rained the night before, and we're like up to here in water. And she lost a shoe, got soaked and muddy. And for whatever reason, she's married to me and moved across state lines with me. But that was between that and free pancakes and IHOP. Those were my 2 first impressions. So.
Oh, probably add the white squirrel to that mix too. It's very iconic Bowling Green things.
Yeah, tell people out here in Colorado about the white squirrel. They don't believe me, so I have to Google it to show them. It's very unique. Hey, now we have the White Squirrel Brewery.
Right.
Stop by next week.
I was telling my little cousin when his freshman year at WKU, I said, once you see the white squirrel, that means you're a real WKU student now. That's what that means. And he believed me because he didn't know any better. And he called me as soon as he saw a white squirrel.
Being from Bowling Green, my roommate was from Louisville. So when she came here, she was trying to get away from the big city life. And here I was. I remember the first weekend at Western, we took her to a party at the Pavilion in Lincoln Park, the Blue Dome down there, and a fight broke out. Oh my God. And she started yelling and screaming. She was like, Carla, I got away from Louisville to get away from the violence, and now you're bringing me to violence. But the Pavilion, Blue Dome, we used to hang out. Joker's Wow was a club. Now there's the Autism Center is sitting right there where the club used to be. Good Times on the bypass, hangout spot downtown. With some little areas that we used to hang out. But for the most part, we did things on campus. Night class was popping when I was on campus. You go down there, get a subway during the day. At nighttime, you could have a party. You can get you some spoken word going on. Duck, when I was in school, it was called Duck. Upstairs, the bowling alley was up there, and the gaming and the TV hangout spot up there. So I bet the young people are like, what is upstairs in Duck? No, we don't have no bowling alley, but we did when I was on campus, and those some areas that we used to hang out and get together and have some fun. So, and I know Reed. That was awesome. Remember, they call it D&M, death and murder, because all the all the violence and fights and stuff like that down there. But it was a great atmosphere. I mean, we had fun. You have a little fun while you're in college.
Yeah, I think the fun for, I guess, my age group, if you will, was Hilligans. Hilligans still exists. Hilligans will probably be very crowded this weekend with people coming back and current students and everything like that. My friends and I, we would get to-go food and eat it at Van Meter at the steps. So we would get like Kyoto's and like off-campus food, but then we would bring it back to campus for like sunsets and everything like that. So like where the light poles are was our favorite place to be. We would sit all the way up there. And so that was really fun. We would always usually go to Cheney's and get the moo pies of the iron skillet, cookies with the ice cream, because we loved desserts and everything like that. But I don't think much has changed since that.
Does anyone remember Happy Inn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I can still hear his voice, like Happy Inn, your lobby.
Yep. Happy in your lobby. Yes.
Yeah. So we get there like in 2 minutes. So you'd be like, how?
And they'll fill your box up with full of rice and whatever you order, it'll be like a large order to the door. And now CVS stands there.
Yeah, there's a CVS now. So some of the comments are talking about Hilligans and the prior names that it was. So Hilligans, Froggies, and then it was Baker Boys before that. So it's come a long way. That bar's still standing, which is amazing.
They've done improvements to it since Baker Boys.
Yes.
I might have got in there somehow. Can't say how when it was still that, but experience for me outside of school, disc golf. I mean, Bowling Green has like the most disc golf courses, maybe per capita or something like that. And they built that huge one out on the other side of 65. Great time. I mean, I'm really good now when I'm playing out with buddies here and they're like, how are you so good? And it's like, college, it's a great sport to do when it's free. You just have to buy the disc and you only need like 3. So if anybody, Bowling Green's a great spot for it. Froggies was a hit spot, but then Puerto's was a great spot to go.
Hasn't changed.
Yeah,
when you're younger for good reasons. And then there was a sushi place. I don't know if it's still open. I can't remember the name.
You talking about Yuki's?
Bond.
Ichiban.
Ichiban.
I was gonna say there's also sushi train where it was like on a conveyor belt.
Is Garcia still open?
Yes.
That place is best Mexican in town. But yeah, and 440 Main, go there. Goes more later in college, but good spot. But yeah, Puerto's cheap and margaritas. Yes, great place for a college student. What about Red Barn Liquor?
It's still there.
Still there.
Okay.
Still there.
See, we have like, I guess us. We always went to WK Liquor that's on the bypass, which has been like a movie store, a pet store, on the corner of Cabell. That's where we went while I was in college, and I like to think that's where people still go since I just graduated a year ago.
Well, I guess White Squirrel Brewery shut down from a comment that was made.
Oh, no.
It didn't make it.
It did not make it through COVID.
What about the there was a breakfast place on 31W that was in like an older house or something?
Judy's Castle.
Yes.
Judy's Castle.
It didn't make it either.
No.
Didn't make it either. There's Fish Street Diner, which was the old Teresa's.
Yeah, at least
That's kind of like the new.
That's still there.
Yeah, that's kind of like the new Judy's Castle. Good old Sunday morning, cheap, greasy, $5 breakfast.
Yes. In the lunchbox, down by the courthouse, it's still great lunch specials. We say grab a bite to eat there as well. So those who are watching, please leave your comments in the comment box. Share your experiences. Share your great places that you hung out while you were a student at Western. We'd love to hear from you all, as well as you share in your experience as we get ready to kick off a great WKU homecoming week. So keeping that in mind, what's some other homecoming traditions that you guys are looking forward to participating in or doing if you're unable to get back to the Hill this weekend?
Say if we're unable to get back to the Hill this weekend?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to be there. We'll have a tent. You all should come. The Alumni Association's going to have a tent set up.
So is
I'm
everyone
going to the
back
Hoda
weekend?
luncheon, and I'm going to the step show as well this year,
Oh, yeah.
which is funny because I never went to the step show the whole time I was at Western. So
Oh my goodness.
my little cousin is participating this year. He's president of the Sigmas. So
Yeah.
Yes.
the step show I go.
I'm excited about the step show. I remember when the step show was in Diddle. I actually participated in the step show. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and we stepped on tables. I mean, so they have upgraded to a stage and whole productions, and so I'm super excited about seeing the step show. For a couple of years, they didn't have a step show, so to have it back on the Hill, I'm super excited about that. Tailgating, I always love to do the tailgating by Bates Runner, so hopefully I'll see some people hanging out at the tailgate along with us down on the South Lawn with the other colleges and Topper Pride. And of course, the big white WKU Alumni Association tent will also be there. So I'm excited about joining that tent as a national board director for the first time. So I get to experience that. And yeah, I'm just excited about seeing some people in person after we've been away for such a long time, not being able to get back to the Hill.
Well, unfortunately, I won't be there this weekend, but I'll be there the following weekend to see you, Carla. But if I was there, I'd be going to the tailgate, going to the game, supporting the football team and all that. Great to get back. It's been a while because of the life we've been living, so I look forward to it. Try and get the game on TV out here. It's a little bit difficult being out in Denver, so hopefully we can make it happen. But you got the parade to go to as well. Maybe that's on Friday. Tomorrow, Friday?
Yeah,
Friday.
Parade is Friday night. Yeah, Friday.
Get out to that if you can, but I'll be there the following weekend to see the Hill.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to watch the parade at Hardin Planetarium because growing up, that's where my mom always took us to watch the parade. And so for 4 years, I was always in it doing stuff for it with the Alumni Association. So to actually just sit back and watch the parade for the first time as alumni, I'm really, really excited. Oh,
Yeah, the parade's going to also be virtual. So that's an event that those, so Nathan, if you wanted to link into that, you can watch the parade live as we do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
So thinking about our experiences and everything that we talked about tonight about our experience on the Hill, what is something WKU have now on the Hill that you wish was available when you were on the Hill?
I'll
Some-
start. I remember when we had the Honors Center, not the Honors College. So the Honors College is just a wonderful community of just intellectuals and scholars. And shout out to Dr. Cobain for just his leadership and really building that and making that a welcoming, inclusive place. So I was just there. I was just blown away by just the type of community and that's being fostered there. But I wish I had it when I was on the Hill.
Someone said panda in the comments.
The food situation is head and shoulders. I don't know, like just more expansive than when we were there. I mean, I remember in Duck specifically too. You go in there and you had the fresh food court, and then you had like the little cubby of Chick-fil-A, Pizza Hut Express, and something else. And everybody went at the same time, and you crammed all these people in there fighting for the Chick-fil-A or whatever. Now, when I've been there the last couple of years or so, just what they have there is incredible. They have all sorts of stuff. It would have been amazing to have when I was there, but no complaints while I was there. I ate very well.
Yeah, we had Izzy's Burrito or something like that up at the top. It was the go-to place. I think they had. No, I guess they're not. They had that new addition put on. I'm going to call it Duck, where they had the actual restaurant. I remember going back to that, but that was years ago. Again, yeah, food. It sounds like it's better. Haven't been back in a while to see. So food. I mean, campus is campus. We do have some new buildings, but still kind of the same. So.
I'm with you, Nathan. I'm still going to call it Duck, and that's going to date me, but I don't care.
It will always be Duck to me.
Well, what do they call it now? DSU? What do they call it now?
It's still Duck to me, and I graduated.
I know, it just sounds
but
so
I grew
wrong,
up here,
like calling it
so.
Duck.
Oh, and what they have now, I mean, as I stated earlier, they have a better football team. So that'd been nice to have because we had a really good basketball team when I was there. When we went to the Sweet 16 and lost
the Elite Eight. Like I remember where I was when Ty Rodgers made the shot and everything.
Yeah, and that's when we lost to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we had a great time with the basketball team. It's just having a better football team, but now they have that. So
yeah. When I was on the Hill, I think our football team won the Sun Belt Conference, whatever conference championship one year. When I was on the Hill, I think we won.
Yeah, it was 2002, I think.
Yeah. So we had a winning team back then. I think for me, with the food situation, definitely, because we had Garrett. We can go and get some homemade pasta and Caesar chicken wraps, and then of course you had Duck. And then they started to accept big red dollars you could use off campus. I think Wendy's and Zaxby's were the first two restaurants around that area that let us swipe our big red card to get food. But for me, I think having the ISEC and the Topper Pride components being on campus, then I think would have been a huge benefit for students, because thinking about students that come from diverse backgrounds coming into a campus, having a place where they feel safe, having a place they can go where they see people that look like them, understand who they are, I think is huge. And I'm so glad that Western Kentucky University has opened that up for our students to have those places to go. I've been up there to ISEC. That area is amazing. And so I encourage everybody who's coming to the Hill this weekend to go up there and tour the community pods. You know, the dorms have really changed since we've been on the Hill. To be
I
more,
agree, Carla. I mean, the types of communities that students have, the types of choices and ways to plug in now, it's nearly endless. And I think there's a lot more choices now for students.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the commons that opens up. The library was, it had its heyday by the time I was on the hill. It was a little ragged, but we still loved it anyway. So I'm really excited to see what the opportunities are with the Commons, with Spencer's Coffee being in the Commons, and them rotating local food vendors through that, and just providing that hub at the top of the hill since Garrett isn't there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, so all of that is kind of related to the fact that, that one of the biggest things between then and now is technology and where it's taken us. I mean, the fact that we're doing this video streaming as we are, if you could have told any of us that back when we were in school that this was going to happen, we would have laughed. I can remember having to read one of my textbooks was online, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. And the fact that kids go to have classes online and do virtual now, and, cell phones has come so far, and, talking about bigger at dollars, and now you can just Venmo someone, or, and then cabs, now are Lyfts or Ubers, and just everything is so different than when we were there.
I remember we worked on a project with Image West, and somebody mentioned Facebook being kind of coming of age, when we were there, and we had to do a digital marketing plan, and we couldn't find a template. It didn't exist. We had to make it up. We're like, hey, we think you can use Facebook to market stuff because fan pages didn't exist yet or anything like that. And so we were trying to Google and find templates, or has anybody done this before? And they hadn't. So we were just having to make stuff up as we went. So it's kind of interesting. That was that way while we were in school. And now it's, a little different now.
Muted.
You're on mute, Laura.
Well, she doesn't know she's on mute. Laura, you're on mute.
I'm muted. Hello. I'm a part of the previous night's festivities, so technology eludes me a little bit tonight. But we put together a really cool video of some memories and such. So if you guys, Carla and Tiffany, if y'all want to give a little bit of a reminder of the things that are coming up this week as far as homecoming goes, and then we can sail out with our video.
Yeah, so tomorrow is the chili cheese luncheon at Montana Grill. I'm pretty sure you have to register for that, but that is at lunchtime type of deal. We've also got the Society of African American Alumni Memorial Service going on. There's a virtual Heaven Hill bourbon tasting presented by the Society of African American Alumni. Oh, there's my child. Here we go. Friday, number one, there's a parade, which starts at 5:00. There's a Hall of Distinguished Alumni simulcast, which is on our Alumni Association Facebook page. Then Big Red's Roar. And of course, Saturday, we will have tailgating down at the South Lawn. I encourage any and all to come to the Alumni Association tent. If you are a member of the Alumni Association, you get a free buffet of food. And if you're not a member, we would love for you to join us. And I do believe that there's going to be a link in our comments for that. And then the game is at 3:00.
Absolutely. And on behalf of our entire posse of panelists, we want to thank you all for joining us and hope you had a great time sharing your WKU memories. We invite you to join us for all homecoming activities, whether virtual or in person. So please visit the alumni.wku.edu/homecoming website to get a full list of events, times, and all that great things. And make sure you come to the Hill, bring your red towel, bring your enthusiasm. We're getting back on the saddle, okay? And also, if you have not, grab that phone and download the WKU Alumni app so you can stay connected and engaged with us. You can also join through the app. I'm a lifetime member. It's worth it. We need you guys to come back and help us support our students. Being a part of alumni is not about just writing a check. It's about finding ways to encourage and inspire our students on campus. And hopefully they can leave Leave Western as inspire alumni to come back and give back as well. So thank you guys for joining us.